shit. All right. 3, 2, 1. Yo, man. How y'all doing? Man? It's Jay chilling in the building, baby. Y'all already know what we're finna get into today. Y'all make sure to like, comment, subscribe, come to the 9th floor so y'all can learn game the right day. And today we are going to be going over the movie Obsession. I'm assuming everybody has seen it. One of the most popular movies coming out right now. Is about to break a record. Shout out to that young director, man, for making this movie. I went to see it in theaters, man. Obsession is actually a very good movie because it really breaks down something that I think affects people more than what they want to admit, right? Like the main character in the show, I don't want to give too many spoilers in case you haven't seen it, but I mean, it's like it's been everywhere. But the main synopsis of the show is that there's a dude named Bear that likes this girl named Nikki, and he decides to use this magical wish thing on her to make her obsessed with him, right? Make her fall in love with him because basically he didn't know how to tell her that he was fucking with her or whatever, right? Hold up, let me go close my door. Now, how the movie goes is that you basically go from feeling bad for Bear to feeling bad for Nikki because you find out that she's trapped in her body. She can't get out this shit. She has to fall in love with Bear, according to the wish, right? But let's go ahead and get into this man's video. And it says, Obsession explains everything wrong with dating now. Let's get into it.
$50 million, made from just $750,000 by a 26-year-old YouTuber. And the reason people pack theaters for it is not because it's the scariest horror film of the year, it's because it's the most honest film about dating of the year, disguised as a horror. The movie is called Obsession, and the premise is simple. A guy makes a wish that a girl loves him more than anyone in the world. The wish comes true, and everything falls apart. But here's the thing about the movie that not a lot of people are saying. Everything that happens, every terrible thing from start to finish is Bear's fault. Not the wish, not the magic, it's Bear. His choices, he's a coward. His decisions to keep going when every part of him knew something was deeply wrong. And those choices, the specific pattern of how Bear moves through the world and through this relationship, that pattern is everywhere in dating right now. Let me tell you about Bear. And I want to be careful here because on the surface, Bear looks like someone you should feel sorry for. He is shy, he is sensitive, he has been in love with his friend Nikki for years, maybe even months, we don't really know. He is not aggressive, he is not loud, he is a quiet guy in the background who clearly cares and never gets the girl. The type of guy who gets described as a nice guy, the type who society tells you deserve a chance. But here is what Bear actually is underneath that surface. He's a guy who has built an entire fantasy around a real person without her consent, who has decided privately in his own head that he loves her and therefore is owed something from her, who has
Now, yes, so Bear basically the issue is that, and you'll see it in the beginning of the movie a lot, is that Bear is too reserved when it comes to getting the shawty. Now, his homeboy was telling him get after her. Everybody was saying, "Yo, Bear, like, just basically go speak to her." Right now, there's another girl in the movie that obviously likes Bear, right? And she doesn't want Bear to talk to Nikki. And then his best homie. I'm just gonna go ahead and spoil the movie. So if y'all don't want to hear the spoilers, just skip to the head of the video. His homeboy was fucking the girl the whole time, blowing her spleen out her joint the whole time, right? But he was still goading his friend into going to talk to her, going to date her, which I think is crazy. Like, I feel like there's an unseen rule between men, right? And here's the rule: if I'm if I like a girl, right? If I like a girl, right, and let's say my man's has been like hitting her with the pipe stick for a minute, right? As my man's, you have to tell me what type of relationship y'all have so I don't go into it looking stupid, right? Because I would never allow my man's to go and date a girl that I was just getting away with anything on. Because I understand the phrase one man's trash is another man's treasure. And I'm not trying to objectify women here. I'm saying, like, if she was letting me get away with anything, dating wise, but she's making my boy jump through hoops, I'm letting my boy know right away, oh no, bro, this is not the one for you. This is not the one for you because it doesn't make sense. Like, there was a situation right between one of my homies and my other homie, right? Where he was really like deeply infatuated with this girl. Finds out my other boy was able to get in and suck the titties first night. Now, I told him, I was like, bro, like, I understand, like, you fucking with this girl or whatever, like, you want to date her or whatever, cool, but, like, don't be like doing too much because someone that you're close to has already like dealt with that. And I feel like ladies can understand that too. Like if you were hooking up with a dude and then your friend went to date her, you wouldn't tell your friend like, yo, like this dude be doing a lot. Like this dude is like a red flag. Don't fuck with this dude. Like I feel like if that's your friend, you have to tell them, yo, this dude is not shit. Because if you don't, like you're putting your friend in a position where if they do find out that y'all messed around, they're gonna look at you like, nigga, why didn't you tell me anything? So I think Ian is a dickhead for that shit in the movie. I ain't gonna lie.
Spent years being present and helpful and attentive, not because he genuinely wants to be a good friend, but because he is quietly keeping score, waiting for the universe to reward him for being the good guy. And when the universe does not reward him on his timeline, when Nikki does not spontaneously realize she loves him back, instead of being honest or moving on, he uses magic to take her choice away entirely. So the director, Curry Baker, said it himself. He wanted to tell a tragic story about consent and communication because what Bear does is not romantic. It's a violation. He removes Nikki's ability to choose. He turns her from a person into a puppet, and then he stays in the relationship knowing full well what he did. The restaurant.
Okay, so and here's another thing too, right? In the real world, bro, if you told me there was a wish granting joint that can make anybody fall in love with me, bro, I would look at you like, shut the fuck up. And then if you told me the only way to break this wish is that either someone has to wish for that wish to go away or I have to kill myself, like, what? Like, to a certain point, like, up until a certain point, Bear should have realized, oh shit, I made a mistake. And he did know that he made a mistake, right? Like, I do think him cracking her after the fact when she was still acting weird is insane. I'm not defending that. Bear is a definite weirdo for that. But people are acting like, bro, if you called these magic people and they say, yo, so you had to die for this wish to go away, everyone's acting like, oh yeah, I would have done that. Boy, shut up. You're not doing that. Most people are not going to just die right away to do that. Bear tried to do the right thing towards the end of the movie. The only bad thing that he did was one, he put that girl in danger. Like, bro, I would have already been off this shoddy when she fed me my dead cat in a sandwich. Like, gang, you're already tripping. You let too much stuff slide. When she freaking did all that weird shit at the party too, like, I don't know if you can put her in a hospital. I don't know what you can do, but your ass need to go to the Witch Willowing factory to immediately get that shit rendered, bro. Because after you feed me the cat, I'm already like, yeah, I'm off this shoddy. I need to figure out how to get rid of this shoddy immediately. Oh, and the tape shit. Like there was a lot of weird shit that she was doing that Bear ignored because I think I think it went from in the beginning he just wanted Nikki, so he's willing to do whatever to get with Nikki. And then I think towards the end, I think he was genuinely trying to like, help like get her out of the situation. But for people to act like Bear was like Bear's supposed to know that Shotty is under a spell and she's like obsessed with him, like he should have got her help immediately, yeah, but acting like he knows about magic is
Scene
crazy.
makes this completely clear. Bear asks Nikki, "You love me more than anyone in the world." And when she says, "Why does it matter?" he says, "It doesn't matter to me." He knows he chose to keep going anyway. But here's why this matters for the real conversations about dating right now. The nice guy who is not actually nice is one of the most common and most damaging patterns in modern relationships. And it is not so hard to name because it wears the costume of sensitivity and devotion. It is the guy who is always there for a girl, always available, always supportive, always listening, but whose kindness has a hidden price tag, who believes that all that effort entitles him to something in return, who when he does not get it feels genuinely wrong, genuinely victimized, genuinely confused about why being a good person does not produce the outcome he expected. And the reason it does not produce that outcome is because real kindness has no expectations attached to it. Real friendship does not keep score. Real love does not come with a bill at the end that says you owe me this because I was nice to you.
And just to be a little misogynistic, I gotta sprinkle it in there. This dude is 100% right. When people feel entitled to stuff because of certain stuff, I think that is wrong. But here's the thing. It goes both ways. Dudes do perpetuate it more Dudes do perpetuate a war for sure, right? But another thing is like, again, I can use the movie as an example. I guarantee you, Nikki wanted to date Bear's homeboy, the dude that was cracking her behind the scenes during the whole movie, because she was talking about like romance, wanting to leave town and stuff. I guarantee you, she wanted that shit from the homeboy, and she did like Bear. Bear was just a pussy. Like, I'm pretty sure the director confirmed that she did like Bear, but Bear was just a pussy, right? And what it brings to my point is that everyone feels entitled to some type of something when they do kindness. I don't like this whole thing where it's like people, you shouldn't feel entitled to certain stuff from women when you do certain things for women. Here's what I'll say. I don't think you should feel entitled to have sex with women if you know you take them out on dates or you're kind to them or whatever. I don't think you're entitled to that whatsoever. But I do think you are entitled to kindness if you give kindness. You don't necessarily need sex. But if I am kind to somebody, I'm not automatically in my head thinking I'm being kind to this person for no reason. That doesn't make any sense. Why would I be nice to somebody and expect them to be a dickhead back to me? That doesn't make any sense. I should at least expect equal kindness at the bare minimum, at least. Right? I think that's a fair assessment. If I'm nice to somebody, if I'm trying to show niceness to somebody, even if that person doesn't even like me in that way, they should at least be kind to me and be able to tell me, hey, I'm not feeling you in this way. Men get constantly bashed, right, for the lack of communication, the lack of not saying things, right? But on the other hand, a lot of women either on purposely will not communicate because women tend to say they're better communicators. So I have to assume that they're on purposely not communicating correctly, string the guy along. Every dude has a story of a woman stringing them along, right? The same way every woman has a horror story about a dude that was just cracking them and not giving them no relationship. Most dudes that date have a story of a woman that they liked a lot. The woman knows that this dude likes them a lot, and they just use this dude for gifts, food, or whatever emotional tampon because the dude that they're physically attracted to isn't treating them right. So where Bear messed up in this movie is that for one, he didn't just say his real feelings, rip off the band-aid with her before doing the wish. And after seeing her constantly doing too much, he didn't try to get out of the situation as soon as possible.
Bear's love was always conditional, always transactional. That is not love. That is a slow negotiation that Nikki never agreed to participate in. Therefore, the first thing Obsession gets exactly right is this. The nice guy narrative, the idea that a quiet devotion deserves reward, is not romantic. It is a way of making someone responsible for your feelings without ever having an honest conversation with them about it. And the person who pays the price for that is always the one who never got a vote. Here's the thing that drives the entire plot of the movie. Bear had every opportunity to just talk to Nikki, to say what he felt, to have the honest, uncomfortable conversation that might have changed everything. He did not. And instead of the 4 words that could have started something real, he makes a wish. He uses a novelty toy from a crystal shop to magically force the outcome he was too scared to work for honestly. That is the movie's central image, and that is the perfect metaphor for something happening everywhere in dating right now. Because people do not use magic, but they use everything else available to engineer a romantic outcome rather than just being honest about wanting one. There's a whole playbook of moves that exist specifically to avoid the direct conversations, the lingering too long in someone's life, hoping they figure it out, the breadcrumbing, the mixed signals, the I'm fine being friends while quietly dying inside and resenting the person for not reading your mind, a strategic vulnerability, sharing just enough to seem emotionally open without actually risking anything, the performance of not caring so the other person might care more. All of it is the wish. All of it is an attempt to have the outcome without the process that earns it. But here is where it divides differently between men and women right now, and I want to be honest about both. Men tend to avoid by going silent, by positioning, by doing everything except the direct thing. The quiet yearning the last years, the endless availability that is supposed to speak for itself. The belief that showing up constantly is the same as showing up honestly. It is not. Presence is.
And that's true. That's true. That's a very big fact. A lot of dudes, their playbook when they do that whole friend shit is like they believe if they're just the most available man at all times, the most needed man at all times, that deserves romantic or physical gifts, right? And it's like, bro, no. No, bro. That's never how it is, and that's never how it'll work, bro. I would tell y'all, in a video, I'm eventually gonna tell y'all the story that made me like fixed all my shit when it came to dating. Made me realize like, yo, like I'm never going to do this type of shit again because it really doesn't do anything for you in the end of the day. You're just sitting there getting mad and confused on why Shawty didn't pick you when you could have just said it from the beginning and then put the ball on her court. A lot of dudes are too afraid to put the ball in the girl's court because they don't think that the girl can handle the ball being in her court. And it's like, nigga, it doesn't matter if she can handle it. Put that ball in that motherfucker, bro. She want to hoop, let her get on the fucking court. Like, I have a very honest policy when it comes to interacting with women nowadays, bro. I'm not if I'm friends with you, just understand that I don't find you like attractive like in that way. I find you attractive in the way I find like my sister attractive. Like my sister is a beautiful woman and she's gonna find a dude that's gonna take care of her one day. But attractive, hell fucking. I ain't attracted to you in no way, and I'm gonna treat you like one of the guys. The problem is in a lot of these like relationships between men and women, the homeboy and homegirls, it's like, baby girl, you gotta pick. If you want to be one of my homegirls, I'm going to speak to you like how I speak to my homeboys. There's no distinction. There's no placating to your feelings or doing anything like that. I'm gonna keep it real with you 110% of the time. Like, I'm not going to. If you look crazy, I'm gonna tell you you look crazy. But if it's my girl, I'm not gonna ever tell my girl she look crazy. Hell no, because I have to placate her feelings to make sure positive reinforcement. With my niggas, I can use negative reinforcement to make them do better, and that's what I'm gonna do with my homegirls as well. So trying to be this available dude all the time is not gonna get you the outcome that you want.
It's not declaration. Being there is not the same as saying the true thing. Women tend to avoid by keeping things at arm's length, by performing indifferences when they feel the opposite, by not wanting to be the one who shows your hand first, because showing your hand first means you lose the upper ground. Because women who want to visibly get called desperate, get called clingy, get called too much, so they perform not caring even when they care deeply. And the result of both of these is a dating landscape full of people who feel things intensely and show almost none of it, who are circling each other's performing neutrality while both of them are actually hoping the other person breaks first and says the real thing. Nobody breaks and nothing real ever starts, or someone makes the wish, engineering the situation, forcing the outcome, and then is shocked by the consequences of getting what they wanted through dishonest means. Therefore, the second thing the movie gets right is this: the wish is the coward's version of love, and the coward's version of love has victims. In Obsession, that victim is Nikki, and her autonomy stripped, her body taken over, her actual self imprisoned. In real life, the victims are the people who were manipulated instead of approached, who were managed instead of met honestly, who deserved the conversation and never got it. Here's the part of the movie I can't stop thinking about. Bear gets Nikki, the wish works, she's there, she wants him, everything he said he wanted, and almost immediately he starts pulling away, trying to go out without her, making excuses, small retreats from the thing he spent years wanting. And this is the most honest thing in the entire movie, because it describes something that almost never gets named in conversations about dating. There are so many people who want connection desperately and pull away the moment it becomes real, who pursue until they have someone and then do not know what to do with the having, who found romantic tension of almost but not yet more comfortable than the reality of actually, because wanting from a distance is safe, it demands nothing. The person you want exists in your head as a perfect version of themselves. No bad days, no needs, no complications, no moments of being fully ordinary human. The fantasy version asks nothing of you. The real person asks everything. They're actually there. They have weight. They have their own inner role that is completely different from the version you invented. And being with that real person requires you to show up not as the romantic lead in a story you wrote alone, but as an actual person with the flaws and the uncertainty and days when you get it wrong. Bear cannot do it. He wanted the idea of Nikki.
Okay, but we gotta act like Nikki wasn't acting batshit crazy though, bro. Like the plot of the movie is that she goes from 0 to 100. Like nobody wants to deal with that whether you're a guy or a girl. Like, yes, when you get people, there are some times when you're like, holy shit, this person is fucking crazy. Why? I did all this work for this? But to sit there and act like Nikki was not absolutely insane is crazy. Like, Nikki was actually losing her damn mind. Like, no dude on the damn planet wants to deal with that shit. Because why is she acting like that? Like, if after the first day you cooking my dead cat in a sandwich for me, Shawty, I don't care if I wanted you for 5 years. I'm out this motherfucker. What are you talking about?
The fantasy version that existed only in his head, the real Nikki, even with the wish altered version, was too much, too present, too real. And this is everywhere. It is the person who chases someone for months and becomes cold the week after they say yes. The person who is only attracted to unavailability and loses interest the moment availability arrives. The person who says they want a relationship but keeps every real connection at just enough distance that it never quite becomes one. The cruelest version of this, the bear version, is when the person who pulls away does not even acknowledge what they're doing, does not say I'm scared, does not say this is more than I can handle, just retreats quietly while the other person stands there wondering what they did wrong. In the movie, the real Nikki keeps breaking through moments where she looks at Bear with terror, where she begs him directly, explicitly, to understand that something is wrong, that what is happening to her is not right, that she needs help. Because acknowledging what was happening would mean acknowledging what he did, and Bear was never willing to do that. But here's the thing, that specific choice to ignore the signals to prioritize your own comfort over someone else's reality, that is not a fictional horror movie thing. That is something real people do to other real people constantly. When they know something is wrong in a relationship and stay away because leaving requires admitting something they are not ready to admit. When they see someone in front of them who is not okay and look away because seeing it clearly will require them to act. Therefore, the third thing the movie gets exactly right is this: getting what you want is not the end of the story. It is where the real responsibility starts. And the people who have spent years in the safety and wanting, who have only ever practiced the fantasy version of love, often cause the most damage to the people who actually open themselves up to them. Not because
Okay, but like we gotta be realistic here, bro. Like we gotta be a little bit realistic here in the sense that I think most people, yeah, after the cat shit are like sending her to a mental facility, I'm not gonna lie. But if we're being 110% honest, bro, there's no goddamn way in hell I'm gonna just sit there like when she yeah. If I call somebody for some for support, like how do I get out of the situation, and they say the only way you can is just end your life. What do you want me to? What do you expect a normal person to do? That's the one thing I don't get. I understand it's a fictional movie, but that's one thing about the discourse I don't understand. Like, do you want Bear to just die? How is he supposed to know that wish was real?
they are evil, because they never learned the difference between loving someone and needing them. I wanted to talk about Nikki separately for a moment because she deserves it. Nikki, before the wish, is someone worth knowing. She is smart and funny and self-aware. She knows what she wants. She wants to write. She wants something real. She specifically says she does not believe in the performed version of romance, but she believes in
That's false because she was getting cracked by Ian the whole movie. Unless, yeah, hey, Fry.
actual love. She is a full person with her own inner world, and the movie takes all that away from her. The wish does not just make her love Bear, it takes over her body. It turns her into something she would never choose to be. The real Nikki is trapped inside, watching herself do things she cannot control, periodically breaking through, screaming, terrified, begging for help, and then being pulled back under. The director was explicit about this. Nikki is both villain and victim. The terrifying things she does are not her. They are what Bear's wish produces: the violence, the obsession, the erratic behavior that is the wish operating through her body. She's a victim of it from the first moment it takes effect to the last. And Bear knows this. He knows almost immediately. But he stays. He chooses to keep the relationship going despite knowing what he did. Despite the moments when the real Nikki breaks through and makes it absolutely clear he's not okay. He chooses the fantasy over her actual well-being every single time. That is what makes him the villain of the story, not the wish, the choice to keep going after the wish. So what does all of this say about where dating actually is right now? It says that the performance has replaced the reality. And that is true on both sides. Men performing that they do not care when they care deeply. Women performing that they are unbothered when they are not. Both sides showing up to dating as a strategic exercise rather than a human one. Both sides more concerned with not losing than with actually connecting. And underneath all of that performance, it's the same thing. Fear. Fear of being seen too clearly. Fear of wanting something and not getting it. Fear of the honest conversation that might end something before it starts. Fear of being the one who cared more. There is fear all the way down. Every choice he makes is fear-based. The silence is fear. The wish is fear. The staying after he knows is fear. He is terrified of the real thing, so he manufactures a fake version and then is destroyed by it. But
No, but I'll say this, right? I'll say this right to end the video, right? We gotta also include the fact the only victim in this whole joint, the only two victims in this joint are Nikki and the other girl. Ian is not a victim. If you came to your homeboy, right, covered in blood, crying, he freaked out of your brain. Like, bro, please, I just need you to do this one thing for me. Just trust me. Please, for the love of God, take this thing right here and do what I'm asking you to do. Why the fuck would you wish for $1 billion? That doesn't even make any sense. I never told you to say that. Why the hell would you do that and wish for $1 billion? How does $1 billion fix anything that I might have going on right now? And when he got shot in the face at the end of the movie, I fucking laughed. It's just like, gang, You literally ruined everything. And Nikki went to jail at the end of that movie. Like, she killed 3 people. Yeah, she's going to jail for the rest of her life. And it sucks because it's like she literally did nothing wrong. I couldn't imagine being in that position. Like, I finally come back to life. There's a dead nigga on my lap, and I have a gun in my hand, and there's a dead nigga from a headshot across the room. Like, bro, it's fucking over. It's never been more over than that, bro. Like, I feel bad for Nikki and the shotties whose head she bashed into a steering wheel with a brick. Like, that was actually insane. I would say it like this though, right, man? He got the actual point across in the fact that like a lot of people nowadays are scared of just losing because losing does suck. People try to act like dudes should be these robotic creatures that like should just take rejection on the shoulder. But bro, losing, getting rejected is fucking terrifying, especially on social media now where everybody is trying to be like, I don't give a fuck. It is terrifying to lose. So I definitely understand what the movie is trying to portray in that fact where it's like Barrett just didn't want to lose. And then imagine you like this girl for so long and then you find out that your best friend has just been like taking her down. Honestly, I would say like this. This whole movie's plot could have been rectified if Ian had just been a real nigga from the beginning. That's why I'm glad Ian got kablooed. Because all Ian had to say is, hey, bro, I've been hooking up with Nikki for a minute now. I think you should focus on Sarah. 2 sentences. Nobody dies. Everybody is happy. Nikki gets to move on with her fucking life, doing whatever the hell she wants to do, go right. Ian will find another bop to go slam down on, and Bear and Sarah can have a long, prosperous life. But Ian ruined it all. That's why we smoking on Ian, man. But all in all, y'all make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Come to the 9th floor so y'all can learn game the right way. I'm out this joint, man. Peace.